Let's be honest, the whole AI scene, it can feel like a lot sometimes. Overwhelming, maybe.
Definitely. There's so much noise.
So today, we really want to dive deep into one really crucial idea that seems to be separating the folks getting ahead from, well, from everyone else.
And that's AI orchestration.
Exactly. Think of this as your fast track to understanding how you can actually put AI to work effectively in your business, getting properly informed.
Yeah, and we're building this on a really interesting discussion from Julia McCoy on her YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's just called Julia McCoy.
Hmm.
And she brings up a critical point about where this is all likely heading.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Unpack what AI orchestration actually is, figure out how you can avoid this thing called the tool trap,
Which we'll definitely get into.
and find out how to strategically bring AI into the fold for, real impact by the end of 2025.
And that time frame is key. Because here's the big prediction, the thing that really makes you stop and think. By the end of 2025, the forecast is this major split. Yeah. Companies that nail AI orchestration, they'll be miles ahead. Those that don't, well, they'll be seriously playing catch up.
Okay, that definitely sets the stage. Let's dig into this tool trap then. What is that exactly? Why should we be worried about it?
So the tool trap, fundamentally, it's this mistaken belief. The idea that just piling up more AI tools automatically means you're going to get better results.
Right, like quantity equals quality.
Exactly. The thinking that just having more AI makes you more innovative or efficient, which isn't really true.
So how does that show up? What are the warning signs that a company might be stuck there?
Well, you usually see a few common things. First, they're just collecting AI tools, almost like trophies, but without a real strategy for how they'll actually, work together.
Okay, disconnected tools.
Yeah. Then you see teams spending a ton of time manually shuffling data between these different systems.
Yeah.
Copy and pasting, reformatting. And third, you often find they've got overlapping features across different AI subscriptions. They're basically paying for the same capability multiple times over.
That sounds expensive and frustrating.
It is. And the real kind of bottom line, they end up spending more time just managing all the AI than actually using what it produces.
That's the definition of counterproductive. Is there a real-world example of this?
Yeah. Julia McCoy brought up a great one from First Movers. It was about a mid-sized marketing agency.
Oh, okay.
Get this. They had 17 different AI tools they were subscribed to. 17.
Wow, 17. What was the problem there?
The result was their team was burning over 12 hours every single week.
12 hours. Doing what?
Just moving data between tools, like I said, reformatting stuff so one AI could understand the output of another, troubleshooting connections, just pure busy work.
That's almost 2 full workdays wasted every week. So how did they fix it?
They brought in what First Movers calls an agentic flow and an orchestration framework.
Agentic flow. What does that mean in practice?
Think of it like designing a smart pathway connecting different AI actions. They really looked at their core needs and managed to cut down from those 17 tools to just 5 essential ones.
5. Down from 17.
Yep. And the key was choosing those 5 specifically because they could integrate really well together. They could talk to each other easily.
And the results, I assume they were pretty good.
Pretty good is an understatement. Their content production shot up by 250%.
250% with the same people.
Same team. Plus, they started saving over $8,000 every month just by cutting out the redundant subscriptions.
Incredible. So they were paying more for less output before.
Exactly. It really highlights that hidden cost of just letting tools pile up without a plan. The inefficiency tax, you could call it.
Yeah, that really hits home. Time and money down the drain. And you're saying this isn't just one agency's story. This is common.
Oh, yeah. Julie McCoy made that clear. This pattern, being swamped by too many disconnected AI tools, is happening everywhere, across loads of different industries. It's a real challenge.
Okay, so problem understood. The tool trap is real and costly. Let's pivot to the future then. How is AI orchestration expected to evolve by the end of 2025?
Right. The thinking is it'll likely happen it's where a lot of the more advanced companies are right now or heading towards. It's all about just getting the different AI tools to, talk to each other, share data, setting up simple workflows where, say, the output from AI A automatically feeds into AI B.
Like connecting the dots, establishing the basic communication lines. Makes sense. What's phase 2?
Phase 2, maybe around mid-2025, is predicted to be autonomous workflows.
Autonomous.
Yeah, this is where the AI systems start getting a bit smarter, more self-managing. They begin to understand the overall business goals you're aiming for, and they can start deciding for themselves which specific AI tool is the best fit for a particular task in the workflow, and then automatically route the work there.
Ah, okay. So not just connected, but intelligently directing the traffic based on the goal. That's a big step up.
It is. And then phase three, which we might see by the end of 2025 among the real leaders, is dynamic orchestration,
Dynamic, meaning.
meaning the AI systems don't just follow the workflows you set up, they actively optimize them on their own. They learn from the results they're getting, they see what works, what doesn't, and they can actually reconfigure the workflow, change the sequence, maybe swap out tools, all to maximize efficiency. It's like continuous self-improvement, but for the whole AI system.
Wow. So the AI essentially starts fine-tuning its own processes. That's quite advanced.
It really is a progression from connected to directed to self-optimizing.
Okay, these phases paint a clear picture of increasing AI sophistication. To make it even more real, can we walk through some practical examples? How does good orchestration actually work day to day?
Absolutely. Let's take content production. It's a common area.
Right.
In a typical non-orchestrated setup, you might have one tool for research, another for writing the draft, maybe a different one for editing, another for SEO checking, and yet another for distribution.
Sounds familiar. Lots of manual handoffs.
Exactly. Lots of exporting, importing, reformatting. It's clunky. You can just picture the poor content team juggling files.
Totally. So what's the orchestrated version look like?
Okay, imagine this. A specialized research agent, an AI, automatically pulls together information and formats it perfectly for your AI writing model.
Nice.
Once that draft is done, it doesn't just sit there. It's automatically sent through maybe one AI model for grammar and style checks, another for fact checking. Automatically. And if there are specific parts that genuinely need a human eye, maybe for a creative call or a final tone check, only those sections get flagged and routed to the right person, not the whole document.
Much more targeted human involvement.
Precisely. And the system learns. It looks at which content performs best, what gets engagement, and uses that feedback to tweak how it generates content next time. Continuous improvement.
That's a world away from the manual version. Okay, give us another one. Maybe something customer-facing.
Sure, let's think about customer service. In an orchestrated system, a customer query comes in, maybe via chat, email, whatever. The system first analyzes it, what's it about, how complex is it. Then it intelligently routes it to the best AI model for that specific type of query. Maybe one AI is great at simple billing questions, another is better at technical troubleshooting.
So specialized AI for specialized tasks.
You got it. And these AIs have instant access to the latest company knowledge bases, so the info is always up to date.
Good.
But crucially, if the issue gets too complex or reaches a point where empathy is really needed, the system knows when to seamlessly loop in a human agent. It becomes a hybrid workflow.
The best of both worlds, ideally.
That's the goal. And just like the content example, the whole system tracks things like how quickly issues are resolved, what the customer satisfaction scores are, and uses that data to get better over time, refining the routing, improving the AI responses.
These examples really show the power isn't just the AI itself, but how it all flows together. So for everyone listening thinking, okay, I need to avoid that tool trap, what are the main principles? How do we get started?
Right, there are some key principles to keep front of mind. The absolute first one, maybe the most important. Start with your workflows, not with the tools.
Okay, explain that.
Before you even look at AI vendors, map out your business process as it is now. Every step, every decision, where do things get stuck? Understand the problem you're trying to solve first. Like Julia McCoy said, you need the map before you dig for treasure.
That makes perfect sense. Know the journey before you pick the vehicle. What's next?
Second principle, build for interoperability. When you do start choosing tools, really prioritize ones that have good APIs, ways for them to connect to other software. Strong integration capabilities are crucial.
Even if another tool seems slightly fancier feature-wise.
Sometimes, yes, because a slightly less flashy tool that plays well with others is often more valuable in an orchestrated system than a superstar tool that lives in its own silo. Think team player versus solo artist.
Got it. Connection over isolation. Third principle.
Focus on the data flow. Orchestration is all about how information moves smoothly between your systems. So design your whole setup thinking about that data flow first. How does information get from A to B to C efficiently and accurately?
Data as the bloodstream of the system.
Okay, data is the lifeblood. Exactly. You need clear pathways.
What about the people in all this? Are we automating everyone out of a job?
No, that leads to the fourth principle. Implement strategic human touchpoints. The goal isn't total automation for its own sake. It's about figuring out where humans add unique value.
Like what?
Things like creative judgment, ethical considerations, building relationships, handling truly novel or sensitive situations. Put people where their uniquely human skills make the biggest difference.
So elevate the human role, don't just eliminate tasks.
Precisely. Let AI handle the repetitive stuff.
Yeah.
Let humans handle the complex, nuanced stuff. And the last key principle.
Yes.
Start small, but think big. Don't feel like you need to boil the ocean and orchestrate everything all at once.
That sounds overwhelming.
It is. Instead, pick one core high-impact workflow. Get the orchestration right for that. Prove the value, learn the lessons, build some confidence. Then you can scale up from there. A successful pilot project is much better than a massive failed overhaul.
Prove it, then scale it. These principles feel very grounded, very actionable.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned a framework from First Movers for actually doing this.
Yes, they have a pretty straightforward 5-step framework that seems quite effective.
Okay, what are the steps?
Step 1 is document. This goes back to that first principle. You really need to map out your current workflows, get it all down the steps, the pain points, the bottlenecks. You need that clear picture, that map, before you do anything else.
Document the current reality. Step 2.
Simplify. Once you see the whole process laid out, look for ways to clean it up before you automate. Are there steps you can just eliminate? Functions you can consolidate? Streamline it first. Cut out the waste.
Makes sense. Don't automate a bad process. Trim the fat first.
Exactly. Then step 3 is connect. This is where you actually establish those technical links, those integrations between the key systems and AI tools you've decided on, using those APIs we talked about.
Get them talking to each other. Step 4 must be the automation part.
I got it. Step 4 is automate. Now you build the logic, the rules, the triggers that tell the system how to route work between the different AIs based on the situation. This is where the orchestration really starts to happen.
Okay, setting up the intelligent routing. What's the final step?
Step 5, and this is crucial, is optimize. Orchestration isn't a set it and forget it thing. You have to constantly measure how it's performing, what are the results, where can it be improved. Ideally, you need someone or a team who owns this, someone who's always looking for ways to tweak and enhance the system. Continuous improvement again.
Right, it's an ongoing process in such a fast-moving field. And what kind of results are possible with this kind of framework? You mentioned that agency earlier.
Yeah, the results can be really significant and often quite fast. Organizations using this kind of structured approach often report productivity gains somewhere in the range of 40% to 70%.
40 to 70%.
Within the first 90 days sometimes.
Yeah.
It shows how much inefficiency is often baked into those unorchestrated processes.
Wow, those numbers definitely grab your attention.
Yeah.
Okay, so for listeners thinking, right, I need to do this, what does a practical roadmap for getting started in 2025 look like?
Okay, let's break it down. Immediately, like in the next 30 days or so, start by auditing what AI tools you already have, what are you paying for, what's actually being used. Then map out maybe 1 or 2 of your most critical business workflows and really pinpoint where are the biggest integration headaches right now? Where are things getting stuck?
Okay, so diagnose the current situation first. What about the next few months?
In the midterm, say the next 6 months, aim to get your first fully orchestrated workflow up and running. Pick one, maybe based on your audit, and make it work smoothly. At the same time, figure out how you're going to measure success. What are the key metrics for showing the ROI of this orchestration? And start training your team. Get them familiar with these ideas, this new way of working.
Build the first one, measure it, and train the team. That sounds like a solid plan for momentum and longer term.
Long term, looking out 12 to 18 months, now you start thinking about scaling, taking what you learned from that first workflow and applying orchestration across other key parts of the business. You'll also want to build systems for that ongoing optimization we talked about and make it part of the culture. And ideally, start creating workflows that are adaptive, that can change more easily as the business needs shift or new AI tools become available.
So moving from a single project to a scalable, adaptable capability, that's the journey. And if people feel they need a hand with this, it sounds complex.
It can be. Yeah. And as we mentioned, companies like First Movers offer support. They do done-with-you coaching and consulting.
What does that involve?
Things like helping you build that custom roadmap, actually building out specific workflows with you, training your teams, basically guiding you through the process. If that sounds helpful, listeners can check out firstmovers.ai coaching.
Good to know there's help available. So, wrapping this up, the big takeaway really seems to be it's not just about having fancy AI.
Not at all. The future of really succeeding with AI hinges on how effectively you orchestrate it, how you connect the pieces intelligently.
And by 2025, this won't be a nice to have.
No, the prediction is it'll be a core competitive differentiator. Maybe even table stakes for staying relevant.
Right. So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is this. Think about your own business, your own workflows right now. Where's that one specific area where better AI orchestration could make the biggest difference? Unlock the most efficiency, the biggest productivity jump.
That's the key question to ponder. Because this field keeps moving fast, and figuring out your starting point for orchestration is probably the most important next step.
A lot to think about, but hopefully this deep dive gave everyone a clearer map for navigating it.
We hope so.
Yeah.
It's definitely an exciting and challenging space to watch.